Hallo und ja, ich glaube, es ist online. Hello and welcome to a new live stream here from the Card Shark studio in Essen, Germany. Today we are doing a kind of a mixed bag because we are recording this here for as a live stream for our German audience, but as well for our English or speaking audience, as we are airing at 8:30 German time as well, but this is the live stream here from 7 p.m. in Germany. Together with me here is a guy that I don't have to announce too much, I think, especially as I already sent out a newsletter telling everybody that you should join to see him, and I'm talking about Christian Grace. Hi Christian, how are you doing?
Hi, Christian. It feels so nice to be in a studio with another Christian.
That's true. That's true. Well, it's already. I looked it up. We already have been here together in the same studio, and where my computer is right now. There you were standing next to me. That was. Remember when that was?
Yeah, I do. We
March
were
last
cheersing.
year. The time is running like crazy.
Yeah, I remember us cheersing lots of lovely wine you had and having some fun. But
Yes,
I just want
and
to say hi
yes,
to
and we
everyone.
went to this place in downtown Essen and had a drink there. That was
Yeah,
really, really, really nice. Yes, thank you first of all to join us today. We will talk about all your life, your creations, what we did together, what is coming up next, and before that, I will do a small little intro, and then we continue. So yes, here we are again. It's really interesting having Christian with me in this studio. You might already notice that I'm alone here for some time already, and this will continue for a while. I don't want to go into too many details, but health is first, what is very important. And therefore, I'm here in front of this camera and have Christian with me in this, in this video stream. What
it's
is
great
really,
to be
really,
here.
really cool. Hey, Christian, I prepared some of the questions, and certainly all the community is also allowed to ask questions, so that I can forward them to Christian as well. And if you are not seeing this here live, but see it as a recording, then please feel free and leave a comment down there and ask your questions there. Either I or Christian will be able to answer them, so that you would, that no question will be unanswered.
That sounds
Yes,
great.
and let's start with the following. Actually, you are a young guy, pretty
Well,
much.
that's
But
very kind of you to
when
say.
did you really start doing magic?
I've always been interested in it. Honestly, I got the bug when I was a kid. I was probably about 15 when I started to think about it more seriously, and that's when I met my first mentor in magic, which was Bobby Bernard. For those of you that don't know, Bobby Bernard is, he's not with us anymore, but he was one of the great British magicians, fantastic coin magician and thinker in magic, and he actually taught people like Justin Hyam, Ben Earl, Mark Oberon, myself. So we kind of crossed paths. We probably didn't know each other at the time, but a lot of the generation in my sort of year, uh, would have seen and met and been mentored by Bobby Bernard. So that was my first kind of serious transition, was when I was about 15. And that started at the Magic Circle centenary celebrations in London. Um, that was a pivotal point for me. But I've always been interested in it. So it's a long-standing passion.
Well, here's the question. I don't want to turn around this to make the calculation right now. When has this one been when you have been 15, 16?
It's a long time, bro. I'm 34 now, so I appreciate the compliments that I'm a young man. But it's all due to this singing bowl. You see, what I do is I hit it like this, and this keeps me young. It's great for the face, the body, the mind, the soul, and also it works great for soups and waters and things.
You know what? Because you mentioned Bobby Bernard, and I forgot about it that we already spoke about him. As you
Yeah.
know, I met him as well in Blackpool a
Yeah.
couple of times before he then was not with us anymore. And it's
Yeah.
about the time when I started being a magician myself. So I started exactly 19 years ago with magic. So it's kind of the
Wow.
same time. In 2004, I started
Brilliant.
being a magician.
What's
How cool is
going
that?
on? Oh my God. Yeah, there's
Yes,
some
and I
magic
had
in there.
some good, really great talks with Bobby in the Ruskin,
I
and
bet.
he showed me several moves and all this, and was always ranting about that the young guys would not listen to him and all this,
Yeah, he
and they
was.
could learn so much from him. He was a genius.
He really was a great teacher. He was a great mentor. He knew exactly how much space to give you to learn your own path. You know, he wasn't forceful or anything. He did sometimes get a little bit angry if you didn't quite take his advice or you challenged the advice. But you know what? It's just one of those things. You know, I reckon if I'm fortunate to be an old man one day, I'd probably be a bit grumpy too.
Especially when the young guys know everything better, right? When
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the same thing just two generations after us,
I
that
think
they
we
know
all have
everything better like us who already have seen everything.
we,
Okay,
we
make your own experiences then.
Yeah, well, we all go through that, don't we? As we grow up, there's different stages of kind of dissolving one's ego, you know. So it's just part of life.
Yeah, I remember when I started being Card Shark and started working on my first releases and releasing them, that I had a discussion with Harry Lorraine in the Magic Cafe, where he told me that I have at least to do magic for 10 or 20 years before I should consider publishing anything.
Yeah, that's not bad advice, to be honest.
On
He
one
he
hand,
should,
yes,
he
but
should know.
then you can start next year. Are you ready?
Yeah, well, he should know. I mean, he's published so much work. I mean, and he's no
And
longer.
that's the thing. There are some people who, well, it's kind of different types of distribution or a contribution to magic that we do. Some are they come from a different direction and have something other to offer than these great teachers that are publishing books and are going into other directions. And I think everything has its own reason and being. So Harry Lorraine definitely was a great source, as Bobby.
Yeah.
So when you started doing all this, when did you figure out that you could give something away to others that you created for yourself?
It was definitely, and I've talked about this in other podcasts and things, but it was just the session convention a few years back, actually 5 years ago, I think. That was when I first met the Vanishing Ink team because they host the session, and that was when I first started showing some of my stuff around and having a nice response to it, and then making those connections was really great because they encouraged me to work with them and produce it with them, and it was a good step to make because it's nice to understand that this is a really nice thing that I first of all am passionate about, but also brings a lot of joy to other people, and it's something I can do for a living, which is even better. I was doing a lot of care work before I started, selling magic and teaching magic. I was a care worker, so I used to work a lot with old people in a very different realm, of
That's
working.
why we are connecting so well. Now I get it.
Yeah, I'm your support worker.
I'll get back to you in 10 years then.
Yes.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Cool. Let me see something. So you started with Vanishing Ink a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Meaning, what was your first creation that you put out then?
The first thing I ever produced as a physical product was Level One. It was called Level One, and it's a borrowed deck vanish gimmick, which I'm really proud of, and it still sells now. It's one of their best sellers, and I'm very proud of that because it's a very simple idea, but it's one that I really took a long time. It took me, I'd say, about 6 years to refine it to the point when I sold it. Even if people can't believe that when they see the gimmick, they think, "Oh, this is so simple." It took a lot of work. I had to prototype it in so many different materials. I had to find the handling. I had to understand, you know, how to because it's a progressive deck vanish, I had to understand how to get it from half a deck to no cards, and that took a long time to discover. But yeah, once that was all done, that was my first ever thing that I put out.
Yeah, I remember Blackpool when I think it was released in Blackpool, and someone brought this gimmick over to me and said, "Look how great this is!" And I was looking at this piece of plastic, and I was like, "What's going on here? Really?" Until then, someone really who could handle very well with this was showing me the deck vanish, and then I got it and figured out that is really a very cool way of vanishing a deck or doing a card to a deck to a single card. That's really really great. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it's one of those utilities in a way that stands the test of time, because it's not like a one trick pony. It's something that sort of never breaks and you can always have on you. So whenever you see a deck of cards, you can use it and you can have a miracle with a borrowed deck. So it's kind of like one of those tricks. Once you learn it, it's with you forever. It's literally with you forever, and you will be doing it all the time because it gets such different types of reactions. It's not just like screaming and shouting. It's kind of like it's like the silence of like just witnessing something disappear. And yeah, I'm very proud of that one, and I still use it all the time, all the time.
Yeah, the nice thing about it also is that you don't have to be prepared by carrying around too much stuff.
Yes.
And it's always on you, and due to the material used, it does not wear out or breaks or just looks bad. It's just what it is. It looks
Exactly.
like a deck of cards even if it's not.
Yeah, it does. It's just it feels like you're carrying around one of those vapes, because it's very
Yeah,
the size
yeah,
of that.
that's true. Now, you released other tricks as well. I think even recently something else as well. But then you started doing something a couple of years ago, and it's called, well, I should, first of all, yes, let's start with this. Let's talk about the thing, your small little baby that grew bigger and bigger, and that is called Magic Monthly.
Yes, Magic Monthly is an online subscription platform where I teach my favorite card magic, and I also welcome some of these guests on the platform to teach their kind of thinking on their magic. And I try and get the kinds of people I bring on are my friends in magic, but also people I admire and have certain qualities that I appreciate, and the way that they teach as well is important. So I get to showcase my friends, I get to perform and teach my favorite material, and it's called Magic Monthly. It's hosted on Gumroad. I'm sure, Christian, you have a link if anyone wants to check it out. It's something I'm very proud of. There's over 60 tricks in there right now. These tricks are really explained, in full depth. There's always a live performance, and then there's a breakdown of the effect, the techniques used, my subtleties and theory, but not too heavy on the theory. Even though I do have certain approaches to theory, I try not to make it boring. Um, and you get two of those per month for $12.99 plus VAT. So rather than buying bundles and bundles of magic, you might take it in your stride to join a membership that you can be a long-standing member of and continue to sort of grow and learn incrementally in kind of manageable amounts per month. Um, I've always loved teaching magic, so that's one of my main passions. So this allows me to kind of focus on that and enjoy it.
Yeah, for all the guys who are watching us right now, first of all, please do not forget to subscribe or also send a like. It helps a lot for the algorithm. But also, please put into the comments a 1 if you're already a member of the Magic Monthly, and a 2 if you're not a member of the Magic Monthly. If I see enough 2s, then I'm happy to share the link to the Magic Monthly, as well as we also give away a 10% permanent lifetime discount, right? So it's not just a one-time 10% off link, but it's working forever. Well, it's pretty cool, and thank you for doing this. That's really awesome.
You're welcome. It's so great to work with you guys.
Yeah, so I see already a lot so far, several ones. Damn it. That's good.
Hey, you guys.
Hey,
So much.
awesome. So you already know the great stuff in there. Hey, here's a question. Is this all for card guys, or is this also where you're sharing other ideas without being card magic?
Yeah, so predominantly it is a card magic membership. I do share card magic. There's a lot of kind of mentalism style premises and hooks within my magic because I like mentalism and I like communication um, with my spectators that involves seemingly somehow me picking up on their thoughts. So the techniques with the cards, you know, there's a few peaks, very discreet, subtle peaks that I perform, and I talk about the theory of those things. Um, and there are a couple of non-card magic things. So, for example, my friend Justin Hyam, who I was lecturing with the other day at NeetCon convention, he has a routine on there, which is two routines actually, with billets and predicting people's choices before they make them in terms of which coins they choose on the table and which images they draw. So he has a fantastic approach to his routining, and that's mentalism based. Even that one routine is worth the price of the whole membership. Even if you were to jump in, look at that, obviously enjoy the other stuff as well if you are in there, but even that one routine is priceless. And I have another friend recently, Paul Brook. He's also another mentalist. He came on and he taught me one of his sort of influence routines where the spectator is influenced to pick a specific business card that he writes a message on, and all the other cards are blank, and they could have won like £300. So he brings out a wad of cash, and he says, "You're going to touch the one that says this one on it, you know." And of course, no matter which card you touch, all the others are blank, and you lose the money. So it's a really nice hook. It's a quick game. It's fast paced. It's the most recent item in the membership for those of you that want to check it out.
What's the name of it?
I've got it here actually. I should send you this clip. Maybe you could play it.
Can you share it on your camera? I don't know.
Let me have a look. I don't know if I can screen share. I'm not as advanced as you, Christian.
If not, then we will share it in a different way.
Let's have a look here just to see.
Okay.
I've got the sound. At least.
Well, sound is already half the way.
So here we go. Look, it's called Choose Me.
Choose Me.
I didn't want to get the title wrong. So for those of you that have the membership, scroll down to the bottom of the access items, and at the bottom it's Paul Brook Choose Me guest item. And the video actually is quite a long one, so I won't play it on here because we're having a quick chat. But for those of you that are interested, that's branching out as well. And I don't know if some people here might be familiar with a magician called Mark Lemon. He's a really interesting creator from England. We're good friends. He's a fantastic magician, and he's worked with a lot of fantastic magicians, TV magicians, basically. He and I are working on a mentalism-based subscription called Mental Monthly.
Ooh, okay.
So for those of you who are sort of thinking, well, I'm not as interested in card magic, but I like mentalism, within there, I'll be sharing my billet switches. I'll be sharing my thoughts on peaking, and he has some fantastic routines. I have principles that I've been working on completely kind of separate to card magic, because mentalism's my other kind of ambition. And I know, Christian, you know about something I'm developing at the moment, which is very interesting, and maybe
we are coming to this later today, certainly as well. Yes.
So that was a really long answer to your question. I'm sorry to take so long. So it's mainly a card magic membership. There's a few things in there that aren't card magic based, but mainly it is card magic. And if you're interested in mentalism, then look out for Mental Monthly, which is something that will be coming in the future.
Yes. Actually, give me 1 second. I have to do something here to help the guys. First of all, you would see the link for the Magic Monthly down in the what is it called, the text to the video. But I also put it here, and all you would have to do is go to card-shark.de/ads/mm for Magic Monthly. Very simple. One more time, it's I'll do it again. Here it is, card-shark.de / is it a backslash, ads /mm for Magic Monthly. Very simple, just remember the ads and then mm. We come to other links that are working the same later today as well. Oh boy, now Christian, you know what? with my luck here, I just get a message that Windows want to do an update right now. So I will say, please remind me one day, but not now. So let's go back here. Here we go. Here we are both on there. I can only show my picture completely and then go and show the link. That's perfect. Yes, so there's one guy who was the only one with sending the letter to, so he's not subscribed yet, but he wants to change it. You don't have to do it right now. Watch the rest of this interview. It's definitely worth it. Do it later. Everything is stored here. Enjoy this interview as well, and you will see something else about the Magic Monthly. Because you are also, well, there were other tricks that you're really proud of that you released. By the way, who and what inspires you for these new releases that you're always putting out there?
I honestly pull a lot of inspiration from my friends in card magic. I think one of the most influential people in my life in terms of magic was Darren Brown. And I know he's an idol for a lot of people. Because, you know, coming up at the same sort of time, we were all just completely blown away with how he performs, how he constructs his magic. I mean, pretty much every single thing he did was fooling to everyone. Even though they didn't want to admit it, they were like, I've got no, you know? So Darren is one of the most enigmatic and incredible performers. And he really touched me, you know. I went to a boarding school and my father was the first person. My dad, his name's Wigram Grace. He actually sent me a message saying, you have to watch TV. There's this guy on TV. He's doing things that I've never seen, you know, because my dad knows I love magic. So I tuned into Darren Brown for the first time from recommendation of my father. And my God, I was just like enthralled. And I actually don't think I'd be as passionate towards magic if I didn't have that as a kind of inspiration. If I didn't have Darren there, I don't think I would have stuck at it as much. You know, I was interested in a lot of other things at school. So that really put me in the game of kind of my love for magic and mentalism, you know, at the time. So
But at that time he was still doing magic, card magic, right? Before he then turned into a mentalist.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. And his approach to card magic as well. He's just one of the best that there ever will be. You know, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, you if you have not seen it yet, you should definitely. Well, we have the Mind Power deck of Kennedy. What is an awesome deck that you should have. It should be in every arsenal of a magician. We have them in Standard Index and Large Index, or Phoenix Index, and what is it called? Deck. The Classic Index. Yes, here we go.
And the Mind Power deck is one of the best tools in card magic. No question. No question.
And if you well, at that time you were still allowed to do all this. You should try to find later on YouTube that you to see the video that he did with
Stephen Fry.
Yes, with Fry, and it was Smoke. It was called, I think, Smoke. So Darren Brown, yes, and type in all these words, then you might see this where he is fooling him so badly and at that time you were still allowed to smoke and having a cigarette where the cigarette gets very a lot of attention, because that's the card that was chosen. What is an amazing thing.
It's incredible. That whole routine is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, definitely look up Smoke by Darren Brown. He published that in his Pure Effect book because everyone went crazy for it. And that indeed uses the Mind Power deck.
So difficult to get this book now already used. It's very hard to get. Yeah. But if you have the chance to find a friend or so who has it, then get your hands on and see how he handles the Mind Power deck. Also doing the narrowing down to get the card that is needed to know. It's very, very clever and different to Kennedy's version. What is really cool.
It's brilliant actually. So Darren uses techniques which were actually originally by Jerry Sadowitz.
Yes, he was using the Jerry Sadowitz idea, yes, of naming a black or a red card or something like this.
Yeah, if you're going to get one wrong, the theory was if you're going to get a color wrong, you might as well get the name of the card wrong as well. You know,
Yes,
'cause
and I have seen, well, I tried it myself several times, and using that card, I have seen people freaking out immediately, like what he did also on TV. He was so lucky, getting it right with the very first idea, with the very first named card is so cool. And yeah, that happens more than often. I would not have expected it. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Great to use.
And also, you at Card Shark, you sell the Mind Power decks with large indexes, don't you?
Yes, we do.
And those, for me, are the best because even if you're doing walk around at gigs, if you've got space on the table and you can just spread the deck, you can get someone on the other side of a round wedding table to see, you know, so it's perfect because you just say, just look at any card. So this is just in your mind. And then you can literally start killing minds, you know. I love
Yeah.
it, man. It's incredible.
Well, I was, there's a small little story that I would have to say. There was a release a couple of years ago, I think it was 52 to 1,
Yes.
that was released by a British, who was it, World Magic?
Wayne Fox and David Penn.
Yes, and here's the thing. I think there was another guy who had this idea before them.
Oh, really?
And he sold the idea to Mark Mason.
Ah,
And
okay.
Mark Mason saw that this was based on the Mind Power deck. And as he did not have the rights to the Mind Power deck, he reached out to me and we wanted to release this trick.
Right.
And seemingly this guy who had the original idea might have shown it also to these guys, and they picked it up and were faster than us.
Oh no, really?
Yes, so we were in the whole process. We had the prototyping done. Mark already had the decks to make the videos and all this, and it was already the print run for this deck was already done and signed and everything at USPC. And then came Christmas when we wanted to release it in Blackpool, so February, and around Christmas I got the notice, hey, isn't that the deck you want to release? And yeah, Mark and we saw it and both were totally nuts. And this guy said, well, I showed it to them, but I cannot prove it. I said, well, if you cannot prove it, then it's this word against you and the Magic community will be difficult.
I think it's very difficult to understand if that's the case because, I mean, I wouldn't imagine those professionals to copy anyone, to be honest. So it does happen quite a lot in Magic where people have similar ideas and they work on similar things.
But it was like with the cutting, naming the 6 cards down, it was so identical. It was the same trick. So Mark and I just said it's not worth the problems, all the trouble, and we stopped we stopped the production and did not release it. And we gave everything over to them as they were first, and we had to bite the bullet and leave it there. And so later on, I created this the Mind Power Travelers. The queens where the chosen 8 cards can appear between the 2 queens, so that this was kind of an alternative to doing it with just cutting and finding the card with this 52 to 1. But there was my own story with the trick, very similar to the Mind Power deck. And I think Fernando also, you know Fernando Figueras, he told me let it go because it's also that the Mind Power deck is way stronger as a mentalist than just what is your card, here's your card. It's too fast, it's too direct, and it's just magic instead of narrowing down an idea that you had, something that you made up in your mind, and somehow someone can read your mind. Is kind of different to just cut to the card or whatever. So he said, Mind Power deck should be stronger than the 52 to 1, but that's a personal opinion of a Spanish great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I'm sorry about your experiences. Obviously, I don't know the intricacies of that, and I can't make an assumption against those guys because they're very.
I would not. I said if there's nothing in proof or in writing or whatsoever,
Oh, exactly.
then it's word against word. And I think the longer you are in this magic business and produce something or release something, then sooner or later something like that will happen anyway.
Yeah, I just think from my understanding of them as people, they're very professional, and I couldn't imagine that would happen. Honestly, I really couldn't. But obviously, it's difficult when you come up with something and someone else does it. It's very, but it happens. It happens that people have similar ideas, and like you say, it's best to just move on and onwards and upwards.
Yes, I had my own experience with something else. Do you still remember the trick where you get a blister on your finger with when you use the hole of your belt?
Yeah.
And then it turned into a playing card or something where someone did a playing card. At the beginning was just 1 out of 4, I think, as a force.
Yeah.
And I thought, how cool would it be if any playing card would be possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for years I was playing around with different kind of dials and moving here, pushing there, etc. to get the full spectrum of a deck of cards. And everything, I had all the prototypes done, and at the end I just thought, just force a card. Why would you do it? Why would you go through all the hassle finding out what is the right value in your pocket so that you can now push, but instead of just choosing 1 out of 4, for instance. So yeah. I let it go, and then about a year after me, someone released exactly that with all the values, where I thought, no, no, the original was better. I'm pretty sure. It is what it is. Sometimes you invest in stuff that will never see the light of the day, and that is okay as well. Oh, what about you? Have you ever created something that was never published then because you figured out there's a better way to do it, or it's impractical in the end?
Yeah, no, I worked on, there's several things that I work on, and come to researching it, I discover that it's been done before. I mean, this is a natural occurrence because we're limited with the kind of tools that we're using. In sleight of hand terms, if you're playing with a deck of cards, there's so many ways to handle cards that you are bound to fall into the trap of similar movements as other people, and you come to the same sort of conclusions if you want natural, congruent sleight of hand in your work. So it happens all the time when I'm playing around. But what I do, and what is important to me, is that when I do discover things that I think have potential, I check in with people who are more knowledgeable than I am, like Dennis Baer and Justin Hyam, who are both encyclopedias when it comes to magic. And I think that's a great sounding board, because they'll just say, yeah, check this out. And then I can see differences, and I can see if it's an improvement or not. It's always just good to look and research as well, rather than just running full pelt thinking that you've got something fresh. There's always the chance that it's been done before, and it's good to research and credit where credit is due. So
100%, and Dennis is definitely a good source to go for. I'm so happy working together with Roger Nico, who is also, well, I think I was still a hot dream of my parents back then when he was already a performer of what was he called? The Magic Nico? I forgot. Nico the Great or something like this. I forgot. And so he really knows a lot as well, and everything I come up with has to pass his test. Otherwise, it will never see the light of the day. That's for sure.
Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout.
Yeah. So here's one trick. Well, we did 2 together. The one here, the first one is the bet. And yes, and the bet you already also released on Magic Monthly.
Yeah, so I put out a sleight of hand version of the effect, which is effectively someone picks a card, it's returned to the deck, you claim to track the card through estimation, so it's a skill-based premise, and then you get it wrong, and they think you're totally wrong, and you take out 4 cards that are totally not their card, and then all of a sudden, all 4 cards change into not only their card, but also the 3 other mates of the card, so the 4 of a kind. And for those of you that love sleight of hand, I teach that in the membership, Magic Monthly membership. But what we've produced is a gimmicked version that is close to being sleight of hand free. For those of you that don't want to worry about technical moves or misdirection moments where you have to really work on those beats, then this version is a really seamless way to have a strong effect.
Christian, I have to ask you right now, where's the sleight of hand? There is none. I think there is none.
Well, there's only one bit.
The very first move to choose
No.
the card?
No.
Because when I think about it, really?
There's only one move, I'd say, and that's when you take out the 4 cards in the middle. You just want to be careful when you put them down to the table.
That's careful. That's caring, but not really
No, you're
sleight of
right.
hand.
It's a very slight free version. It allows you to focus on your performance, and this is the trick that has single-handedly won me the most amount of alcohol throughout my whole university experience. You know, you make a bet saying, "I bet I can find your card." They think you're wrong. They owe you a pint, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. Of course,
What was very interesting in the time when I produced the cards and all this and tried to find out the ungimmicked version, some performances on YouTube, etc. I don't know why, but the only video I found was the one of Craig Petty, and well, the switch that was necessary was a bit too visible for me. Maybe it is because I am already knowing how a switch looks like, etc., and it will fly past normal muggles, but maybe, well, how about using just gimmick cards, because then it's completely baffling when the switch is, when the change is happening. And here's the thing, I don't know, maybe I should show the video of when you performed it, or do you want to perform it here? Up to you.
I can perform it now.
That would be cool. Sure,
Yeah,
I will
I'll
give
give
you
it-
the stage right now. You are here on full screen right now.
Let's see if I can. I'll put you here, and then because I can see you, and then hopefully people can see this. They won't see my face as much, but if that's okay, then I can give it a go.
Yes, sounds good.
All right. So, okay. So, of course, this helps to be here in person, but let's practice a little bit of estimation. So, as I pass these cards from hand to hand, Christian, can you see them?
Yep.
As I pass them from hand to hand, I just want you to call stop.
Stop.
Right here.
Yes.
Do you want me to split the deck here or go one more?
Like now, it's great.
Like now. Okay, so I'm obviously looking at the screen, so I'll turn away, and I want you to just remember this card for me.
Yes, I do. I do.
Got it? Now you would be handling this. I would hand these to you. You'd remember this card, and then I'd request you cut the packet. And at this point, because I know roughly how many cards are in this packet, I'm going to see if I can track where your card ends up. So no matter how many times you decide to cut this packet, I'll see if I can follow. And in fact, we'll introduce these cards as well, so it makes it much harder. Now it's 1 in 52. So you would be here cutting this packet as much as you want, and when you're ready, I would take them back and see, no matter how many times they're shuffled, I'll see if I can locate this card. And I hope it's probably ended up roughly the middle, so I'll give this a go. Don't give me any clues, okay? But I reckon it's one of these 4 cards. So I'm going to show you these cards, and I want you to keep a poker face.
Right now we don't see the 4 cards, so you have to pick them up, please.
Of course, man. I didn't realize the computer can't see the cards. So there's 8 of cards.
No,
10
yeah,
cards.
okay, I see the 4 cards.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. So
No,
yeah,
that's
look,
fine.
to be honest, I don't think it's a club or a heart. I think those I can get rid of. This one strikes me maybe as the one because it was 3rd down. I think it could be a diamond, and I don't think it's the 4 of spades. So be honest with me. Is your card one of these 3, or did I get it right?
No, it is not.
Did I get it right then? Was it the what was it? The King of Diamonds?
No, it was a diamond, but it was the 8 of diamonds.
Well, thank goodness I'm a magician, because that's the 8 of diamonds. And if you think that's amazing, these 3 have changed into the 8s.
Very cool. Yes. I never saw you performing it like this, but it's great for the camera, as you're now holding the 3 cards. Usually you would place down the 3 not selected cards onto the table, because now the selection is done, you are focused on one card. Therefore, the
Yeah,
other
so
three are out of the picture right now, and nobody would ever expect that they would come back into being important again. What is
yeah,
really
so
really cool about it?
in just to demonstrate what kind of thing I would normally do, not in this routine because of course this is sleight of hand free, but normally I wouldn't have a magical moment where the cards change and I bring attention to it and show they've changed.
Yeah.
I would lock eye contact. So even in a sleight of hand version where you might have to switch the packet, I would lock eyes with the person and put these down whilst I'm talking to them. And so later, when they look back at the cards that are on the table, they change at the moment they look down. So
Yes,
even though I would do
100%.
an open switch in this instance, and I'm not hiding it much because there's no misdirection, but I would say, these would go down to the table. And then, of course, whilst I keep eye contact, that later on, when they see those cards, it then shocks them that they've changed. And that version that you're seeing now with the switching a packet of cards, I teach obviously that sleight in the membership, and I go into detail on that original version. But it doesn't translate on camera, so I wasn't expecting to fool anyone with the switch. But I'm just demonstrating the type of beat that I would use if I was doing it that way.
Yeah, the cool thing is, well, I know both versions with the Switch and certainly the gimmick version that we produced in both ways with the smaller index, the classic one, and the Phoenix index.
Yeah.
And I like, I did it so often now at a roadshow in the USA, for instance, or I watched you. Okay, I have to do this here. Give me 1 second. Someone is asking. I go into full screen and I am showing which one it is. The trick is called the bet, and you can find it here, car-shark.de /ads/bet, bet for the bet. And with the bet, I can go back for us here. So when I performed it, it was always cool that the three cards on the table, well, I show them and immediately place them down onto the table, and it's done. That's the cool thing, because then the change is killing them, and we are talking about not normal people but magicians, and fooling magicians is so much more fulfilling.
I think it's a good foundation because you're taking someone on a journey that understands methods, and even if they're simple, if you can take someone on a journey where they understand methods but they miss the beats, then the construction gets a tick, right? And it just says, well, if you can fool a magician, then it certainly helps to present this to a lay audience, because I think
100%. Yeah,
there's something
that's
to be
what I
said
like
about.
to. When we release effects, then usually I'm looking for effects that are so strong that they also fool magicians, so that they can get the feeling back how it feels like being a layperson, so that they can also admire what the effect will be for a layperson when they would perform it later on. So that really takes it. Yes, definitely. I saw you doing something when you took out the four cards. What is kind of funny, as you have to turn, well, sometimes you turn the deck, sometimes you don't. And I noticed exactly what you did there, because you did not see something you wanted to see.
Yeah, it's self-working, because no matter what orientation the deck is in, or it's handed back to you after they cut the deck, it makes no difference, because it's
No,
built.
it doesn't. Well, if you would perform this surrounded, then you might want to turn the deck at a certain point when you notice something. As I was always working in front of the audience, I don't care how I get them out. I notice, I know the four cards either way. Let's say it this way, literally either way. And therefore, it doesn't matter how I take them out, because then I can still turn them when I already had them taken out from the pack.
Yeah, of course. You can do it towards yourself. There's no harm done. It's great.
Yeah.
What I do like spreading and bringing down the deck to show the cards. So even though it doesn't translate well on camera, in my opinion, if I do have to reorient the deck, it's always done under the guise of discussions and conversations. So I'd go through and say, I think, you know what? It's probably about halfway down, because you cut 3 times, right? Not twice. I'm going to see if I can try. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go for it,
So all of these kinds of movements can be broken up with language and can be, go under the radar. I recognize in a Zoom performance, I probably didn't even think about bothering. I just turned the deck. It's a fidgety move anyway, right? And
Exactly. It's something so natural. It's just that I saw it and it was like, because I saw it, as I know the effect and do it myself, so I would notice when you do something where I think, yeah, I have done it as well. I stop doing it because both ways are fine.
yeah,
Right.
it doesn't make
Yeah.
a difference.
No difference at all. But the switch and having the forecast, really showing them, placing them down, eliminating them one by one in full view, and having that one there, they would swear they would have won the beer bet. That's the cool part about it. So I can fully understand you having a good time during during the years of university to get some beer free. That's really cool.
We have thought of card to box as
We
well.
also have the thought of card to box, yes.
And-
Would you be able to perform this one as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, as we know, if you check out on your page, you have a performance of me performing it on someone,
Yes.
sitting and doing it, and the handling and the construction of the routine is very specific. But this totally works. Again, it can work, in this scenario. So we'll give it a go. See if everyone can sort of see the table.
Great.
I've got you over here again, but that's okay. Right, let's do this. So let's have
I
a card.
give you full stage again. Wait. Yes, you're in.
Let's have a card selected, Christian. Again, because you're not here, you just have to call stop for me.
Here.
Yeah, you would touch a card, so I would have to do this way. But could you remember that card for me?
Sure, I do.
In this instance, I really genuinely wouldn't know what the card is. I really wouldn't know. But let's just say I was one of the best card trackers, and these cards could be shuffled, and somehow I knew, and I could tell you, that your card is ended up somewhere near the top of the deck. Would that be amazing if I could track the card?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right. So let's see if your card's in the top 10, but don't give me any clues what your card is if you see it. Okay. So
Okay.
please bear in mind, the spectator does this entirely in their own hands. I'm never touching the card at this point. So they take 10 cards and they look at each one and they try not to give anything away. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So they have taken these 10 cards in their own hands, okay? And I propose something impossible. I propose that I can take their thought of card and send it invisibly to the box. So watch these cards closely. These are held onto by them. And I pick up the box to show that it would have been really good if the card was there. It would have been good. But in order for something to appear, it has to disappear first. So watch this. The moment they drop these cards into my hands, there's actually now only 9 cards. Even though they counted these cards out themselves, their card has gone. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's now only 9 cards here, okay? And their card completely vanishes. And this feels so hands-off. And unbelievably, in this ungimmicked box, they can shake it. They hear something. And of course, their card, the Queen of Diamonds, is found inside the box. So, of course, this different presentation, but this is the kind of thing. It's a hands-off effect where they see the box empty. They've counted 10 cards in their own hands. Now there's 9 and the card appears in the box. It's got all the boxes ticked for impossible conditions. And I absolutely love this effect. It's something I'm very proud of. And there's a lot to be learned because there's a few different elements to this effect. If you're not familiar with it, where you can apply this to your other card magic, your other card magic. So I love it for that reason. There's so many elements to it to enjoy.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it, that you can really use several. Your thinking and the presentation, etc., is very versatile. So when you learn this one and get this one down, then you can also apply it for different other
Yeah.
performances and presentations, and the method that is used for this effect is really, really cool. I know that some of the guys were a little bit baffled or irritated when they saw the instructions video when they bought it from us, as you would then still show the preparation of the gimmick, as it's also consisting of a gimmick. And you also had it on this video as well, but it was from Magic Monthly, where you had to teach the people to prepare the gimmicks themselves. So we would that would not be included because it's just a video learning platform, and we provide everything with it so that from there you don't have to get out of the house, get some extra cards, extra gimmicks, everything. It's just all included. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Provide several gimmicks in bicycle back, Phoenix back, large index, and all of them are pre-prepared. So you just add them to your deck that matches, and then you can perform the effect. In the instructional video, like Christian says, it's extracted from my membership program. And of course, for that, I'm not selling roughing spray. I'm not selling any type of products on there. So I just teach them how to construct the gimmicks for the effect. And then, of course, from there, they can source it themselves and enjoy it. And not all the tricks in the membership require gimmicks. Some of them do, some of them don't. But I always bring attention to the things that I love the most about the kind of card magic I do. And I hope people love it too.
100%. Yes, I always got great feedback, and I have to say, when you joined us this year in Blackpool, it was a joy having you standing next to me. It's rare having so much energy at a table, and I think that usually people would know me being a performer and pulling a crowd and all this, like Mark Mason and Paul Richards, and you definitely added a lot of attention and a lot of energy to our booth. That was a lot of fun, and I hope you will be able to be with us the upcoming years as well. That would be awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it was a real pleasure, and especially to be alongside you guys. Obviously, I'm wearing Philo Kotnik.
The question mark, yes. Cool.
Absolutely my favorite t-shirt of all time. Where's Philo? He's such a legend. He's usually on the live streams.
He is usually on the live streams. I don't want to go too deeply into this, but he has to take off time as his health does not allow him to be here with us. It might not be obvious as if you follow him on Instagram or whatsoever. You might see him fully energized and all this, so it's something that you would not notice if you would not know him. Otherwise, I don't want to go into too much detail here, as this is something private. That's fine. And all the best and good health. That's more important.
Yeah, exactly. And send him my biggest hugs and kisses from Christian.
100%. From one Christian to another Christian to Philo. That's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, please do.
That's awesome. Let me go 1 second here in full screen like this one. So for all the guys who have not seen the link or the Thought of Card to box and want to see the performance with the spectator, then please go here. It's card-shark.de/ads/TOC2B, what means Thought of Card to box. TOC2B, so that you can go there, watch the video, and hopefully put it into your shopping cart, because it's definitely worth it. And now we are getting close to a full hour already, and here's the thing. There's something that people are talking about for quite some time.
Yes.
And I am myself amazed, as you know. And I know how much work already is included in this, and I have to say, am I allowed to talk about this?
I suppose we can briefly, if you're talking about the thing I think you're talking about,
yes,
then yeah, I'm happy to talk a little bit about it.
Well, there's a certain name to it, because we are still talking in codes here. And the most famous thing that is about codes is coming from Germany, but this particular case is from England, from Christian himself, and it's called Enigma.
Enigma,
And in the
yeah.
end, it was British guys who decoded the Enigma from Germany. So, and I think you decoded something here. What is the Enigma all about?
So Enigma is an effect that goes very, very, very deep because it allows you to experience and present the closest thing to real mind reading that's possible. In other words, you can ask your spectator to think of any word, okay, that doesn't require them looking or forcing a word or looking at a list of words, so they can freely go off and imagine, going on holiday to a certain country. They can imagine identifying themselves as a specific spirit animal. They can imagine going and grabbing any object from any place in the world. And you are able, seemingly just by touching fingertips and asking them to visualize the word, but without having to, fish or throw out really awful kind of long and boring progressive anagrams, you're able to decipher their thoughts and tell them and show them the word that they're thinking in a way that shocks them, And so this is something that I discovered, a seed of something in particular. I won't delve into method too much here, but I discovered something that I then unfolded, and I realized the potential there, and I worked. This past year, I've been working so hard. Pretty much every waking day I'm doing it, So, so it's a mentalism effect that has so many potential uses, and there are different ways to use my system. And, the beautiful thing about it is it's not some complicated system that will take you months and months to master. It's something that you can learn and understand the basics of quite quickly, and you can implement and start performing it quite quickly. So it's very achievable. And the routine itself has a very propless feel to it. Even though there's a secret gimmick involved, it's not something that's, identified by the spectators, and therefore they experience the interaction between you and them. And the more you do it, the more easy it becomes to do, and the more easy it becomes, the more you do it. So it's just it's the most enjoyable thing in the world. And I've been performing at conventions and obviously to a lot of magicians, but I also perform it all the time with lay people. When I'm out and someone says, "Oh, I've heard you do magic, could you show me something?" I say to them, "Okay, just imagine going anywhere in the world and grabbing any object you can imagine bringing to me, like a can opener or a tomato or a ladybird, anything. Just imagine going off and grabbing something and bring it to me in your mind." And that's the starting point, So I'm very proud of it. I've probably said too much, but
Yeah.
but
here are some comments. Certainly, they are already expecting that we should talk about this Enigma coming soon. And certainly, as we are doing this stream here for the German audience as well as for the English-speaking audience, there are certainly more than just there are more than one language spoken in the world. And you will release this effect, as far as I know, and I know it's less than a month now to wait for, as you want to release it. Will you at Magic Live or not?
So I'm going to be at Magic Live, and I'm going to be demonstrating it there 100%. I'm all going to be there. I'm going to attend the convention, so I'll enjoy the convention. But within the next couple of months, we'll see it launched. And the other thing I want to say is I'm launching it in English, but it does work in other languages. So I have been preparing with a few of my friends from several different countries translations for the effect. And of course, following on that, anyone from any language can learn the basic system. And English is a great place to start, regardless of what language you speak. So if you wanted to learn the system as quickly as possible, getting the English version is fine, and you can trust assured that over a small amount of time since the launch, I will be introducing all the languages anyway. So hopefully...
The thing is you have to, once you understand the method, everything is perfect. You have to start with English, And it's not that you just have to learn it in a different language. The system needs to be trained in that language, correct?
No, so the system follows very basic rules that apply to all languages the same. So
No, no,
there's
no.
no.
What I mean is, the you have to, well, like with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is only working because it gathers all the information from around the world, and is not intelligent on itself. It's just using all the information from around the world and brings then results where we would think it was intelligent itself while it was just putting things together. And I think that the system, as far as I understand, needs to be trained to be as good as in English with other languages. And I think it's already in the making, but it needs time as well, right?
No, yeah, we're translating it into other languages. So
Exactly.
it will work, but it works exactly the same in those languages. The formula-
100%. Is it already when it will be released in English? Are some other languages already at that time finished, or are they coming a bit later then?
Yeah, no, it will be in English first, and then following that, we will introduce other languages. We will introduce them one at a time, probably one every couple of weeks. You know, this allows me to go over the translations with people in that language because I don't speak German, French, Italian, Spanish, etc. So it's good to have that time to make sure everything's perfect for them. And of course, I'm in no rush to sell this thing. I mean, this is something that I care about deeply and something that will exist for as long as I can perform it, you know. So the important thing for me when I'm bringing it and introducing it to the community is that it's in a place that they can enjoy it and use it to the best of their ability in their own language, you know. So that's what's important.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have seen different stages, not as deep as Philo, for instance, as he was also helping with the translations into German. But whenever you showed it to me or you talked about it with me, then it was like, oh, I found something completely new for these guys, making it even easier, making it whatever. So forget about. Well, here's
So
someone
what's
asking,
really-
how difficult is it to perform? I will not go into details. Trust me, I will not say this. But how difficult is it to perform compared to what is it called, the tracking trains? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, train tracking. So train tracking by Atlas Brookings is fantastic in terms of its concept, and I think it's fine, right? But with train tracking, there's a lot of memory work. There's a lot of memory work, and that's fine. I think it's good as a mentalist to be able to remember things. But quite often, you'll have with this train tracking, if you're very good at it, it will be quicker to lead the spectator through processes that they need to go through. But ultimately, the procedure is quite long. It's probably about 5 to 8 minutes to then.
Oh dear, no.
Well, no. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shitting on this. Like, Atlas is one of my favorite mentalists, and his work is unbelievable. There is
Okay.
nothing wrong with train tracking. Train tracking is one of the most amazing systems, and he and a couple of other people on the planet perform it in such a way that makes it feel the most impossible it can. But what I wanted to make a point of is, in comparison, if this person is asking about specifically the differences or similarities, this system is way more silent. Yeah, so we're not like throwing out letters or words at all. We're literally just touching fingers and asking them to internally visualize the letters. Okay, so it's all happening pretty much in silence. This touching happens for, I don't know, between 1 and 2 minutes, and then you start revealing the word. So,
And not only this, I mean, you also performed it, when you would think of touching the fingers, you would imagine that the person has to be next to you, but you also did it already over Zoom or in bigger groups, etc. So there are other methods where you don't have to be close to this person and it still works exactly the same or even better. Or not better, it just works.
this system, so for example, doing it long distance over Zoom, again, it's a different way to perform it entirely, but it's based around the similar concept, the foundational concept that I discovered and worked. And for this particular thing, it also happens pretty much in silence. What's most important, in my opinion, about performing Enigma and getting, really good connections and making it feel like real mind reading is how you perform it and how you connect with that person. Because for me, the most important thing here is not technical difficulty, it's clear instructions. It's asking them to clearly see the things you need them to see.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing, and that obviously with the project, I'm doing a whole load of either written instruction, but also I'm doing a whole load of kind of long explanations that are shot in a beautiful studio where I'm explaining exactly everything you need to do to set it up, everything you need to say, why it's important to say certain things and deliver them in a certain way, who to choose to perform on. If there's a group, who's the best person, who's going to be most reciprocal, I guess, with the kinds of instructions that you give, how you can identify the right people, how you can make incredible. I don't want to give away. I was going to say a word that would tip some of the method, so I'm not going to say that. But I teach everything in clear detail, and I really believe that a lot of people, if they enjoy it, they'll take it much, much further than I can possibly think of. Because this, to me, is a new way of thinking in terms of mind reading. It's a new way of doing it. For like 10 to 15 years, I've been obsessed with anagrams, progressive anagrams. I still love them, and I still like, training them and things, but this is very different. This is not it's not throwing out letters and trying to take guesses, and it shouldn't feel like fishing at all. It should feel.
No, I can confirm it. And to, well, well, because here are one or two more questions that I would like to address in a particular way. This is not something you have to remember, do yourself whatsoever. There's something helping you, and it's
Yes, but here's the really important thing. I encourage people to learn it, and as they start performing it, they will naturally start learning it. And actually,
what I mean is this: people are asking, is this an app, and therefore is it iOS or Apple, Android, or what is? If it's an app, where will it be released?
So basically, when I put the trailer out, I'm going to be very specific exactly about what it is and what they get and how it's taught and everything like that. For now, the way that I'm doing it, and this is the first time I'm going to mention this, so this is the first place that people can see.
Thank you for doing it with us. Yes, thank you.
No problem. So the way I'm doing this is I will be releasing full performances of the effect. So in the run-up to the official launch, I will just release full performances after full performances, all the different systems, all the different ways of performing over Zoom, in person, on the hands, using a vocal technique, which I won't explain, but I will explain all of these things through the medium of just showing full performances, which...
I just get the next comment saying you are torturing us, Christian.
I know, yes.
And you are not the first one being tortured. I can tell you that it's for months, because Christian is really keeping it a secret. He asked everybody to shut his mouth, don't mention it. I was pushed into a corner by people. Tell me, what is Christian's whatever about it? And I said, ask him. If he is able to tell you, I will not be able to tell you.
So I will say,
yes.
Everyone will know exactly what it is, okay, when I release the trailer, but I want them to experience the performances first to see how it looks. I want them to understand how it feels by observing the type of performances that it can achieve. And then I think people will see it in a different light. And when people understand that this is a system that can be trained and memorized, then they'll realize those people that really want to make their mind reading feel real, 100% will love Enigma. And for those of you that aren't subscribed, the first place is enigmaofthemind.com.
Yeah, well, let me also, I have to be here in full screen again to show this. Here I release a little bit of of the torture of Christian, because I'm showing you now a way how to get involved into this whole project, and it's this button here. and go to enigmaofthemind.com. Enigmaofthemind.com. That is where you can subscribe, where you can put in your email address so that you will be notified as soon as Christian is going on and shows trailers and all this. Yes, please.
Yeah, they'll be the first to hear about it, the first people to hear about it. If you're subscribed to
Well, they are the first one already hearing about it right now.
And I just want to point out, if they are subscribing, don't forget to go into your inbox and confirm your subscription to the newsletter, because some people are unconfirmed. They put their email in, they press submit, and then they don't confirm it on the system. Just
let me see something. Someone commented something saying not reachable. Enigmaofthemind.com. I'm in. One more time. I show you the link. Enigmaofthemind.com. Yes, that's exactly the link. I hope it works, because someone already commented right now he would not be able to get there. So that's the first test if you are qualified to get in Enigma one day.
I'm testing it now.
No, it works. I'm here. I'm seeing the subscription screen. No, works great if you type it correctly and a smile. There you go. That's the thing. You have to type it, spell it correctly. Hey, that's really, really something amazing. I have seen not only when you performed it on me, and you can really go crazy with the word if you can if you're really creative, come up with a very crazy word. It definitely works, and you think, I cross it out, the F word. It is really something that he can figure out, and I've seen full-time performers, good guys that I know that were freaking out, were giggling after Christian named them their word, without anything, no fishing, nothing at all. They were either screaming or giggling like a small child, feeling this emotion. It's really, really, really cool, and it's as close to real mind reading as possible. So you really, I can congratulate you. I did already. That you found something so unique that it really is changing mentalism in the future. I'm 100% sure about it. I'm 100% sure. So yes, really, really cool. I hoped it would have been already available at Magic Live. Seemingly you are still doing some tweaks here.
I'm just going to attend the convention, so we'll see. We'll see if someone's coming to Magic Live. If people are going to attend, come and see me, and I'll perform it for you, and yeah, we can chat about it and stuff. But yeah, thank you for this discussion.
That's awesome. So someone else also says, could you still please check? I receive only an error occurred. Make sure you have filled all the required fields after putting in my email address. I got it and confirmed it. So someone has this or that, please check your email address if everything is right, that there's no space in it, that you spelled your email correct. I don't know. If you cannot go in there right now, do it in a couple of minutes again, or tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. He is not ready yet.
If there's any issues, people can contact me on Instagram, Christian Grace Magic on Instagram, or on Facebook Messenger, whatever. If there's any issues, just contact me and I'll add you to the list. There's no problem.
Yeah. Otherwise, also leave a comment down here, and if Christian will check it, I will check it. If in case I will see something, I will inform Christian that there's something going on and that we have to check and to get it working for sure. I think it's not a big problem at all. I get kind of a very strange delay between your video and audio. So I see you talking, but I hear you talking later. So I think we finished our whole hour completely,
Great.
More than that. Christian, so thank you so much that you joined me on this Monday. Last week it did not work out. Thank you for doing it this week. Really, really, really cool. I had a lot of fun with you. I hope you guys had fun as well. If you like, share this video with your friends.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching this live or watching this after it went up. Thank you for your attention. and it's been a pleasure. And I hope to see you soon. I hope to visit Germany again and spill wine in the Card Sharks studio.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, and you're always welcome to get back here into the college. You amazed me so much with your switches and everything. It's just great hanging out with you. So yeah, awesome. I would love you coming back to Germany. That would be really cool. And the best thing is we'll see us in about 3 weeks in Las Vegas anyway, because I will be there as well, and I will see you pulling a crowd and touching people's fingers and getting them crazy. That is awesome. So, Christian, thank you very much. I would say we wrap this up here. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Please leave a like, also a comment if you like. It was a pleasure. And until then, please stay healthy, and we see us in a week. Christian, talk soon. Thank you. Bye bye.
Wiedersehen.